Good morning, Gotham. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Thank you for these, the greatness code. Wow, these are extraordinary. And I'm guessing, thank you because you gave us a wonderful documentary in 2015 that focused obviously on Kobe Bryant, and which must be really making you reflect more than ever right now. Was that something that kind of stemmed you into making these?
Oh yeah, I mean, very actually specifically, I got close to Kobe. I worked with him for a number of years. And I remember, there was a moment. So I grew up a huge Celtics fan, and obviously Kobe being one of the greatest Lakers of all time. I remembered so many games where he literally torched the Celtics. And there were other games. He scored 81, I think, against the Toronto Raptors, 61 and three quarters against the Mavericks one game. And so I asked him, like, what do you think of your greatest game, your most memorable game? And he said, none of those. There was an obscure game that nobody's going to remember, but it meant a lot to me. And probably because of something he was going through off the court. And so I thought that was interesting. And so he really, that always stuck in my brain. A couple of years later, I worked with LeBron, and he had a similar sort of experience where he said, yeah, it's not the one against, like for Cleveland when I won the championship back at home. It wasn't the first one against the Heat. It was a different game that meant a lot to me. Tom Brady had the same sort of thing. You start to see a pattern, and that's where the series really came from.
Yeah, and they're so inspiring. I mean, we all know these athletes, and there's so many amazing ones. Of course, our beloved Toronto Raptors. We need you to focus in on them for the next bunch. But I have to say, how hard was it for you to choose the athletes that you focus on in the bunch that we've seen so far?
Yeah. By the way, I can't not mention the fact that I was working with Steph Curry last year, and I was up in Toronto, for the NBA Finals. And I got to say, and I'm a huge sports fan. I grew up in Boston. I've never seen the type of energy or felt what I felt up in Toronto. It was really impressive. Talk about like the religion of sports. Being a part of that just passively was pretty awesome. So congratulations on
Yeah,
that.
you just gave me goosebumps again. Honestly, that it will be a memory I will take to my dying day. But choosing the guys that the athletes that you did, it had to have been very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, well, the criteria was the best of the best. And yes, we were limited to seven. We wanted different sports. I started out, like I said, with LeBron. I had this opportunity to work with him actually on a different project, and then it sort of migrated into this project. Tom Brady is someone I've known for a long time, worked with, is a part of the company that I have. So, I started with really the two GOATs, in my mind, in their respective sports. And then we just wanted to, there are others, you guys had Kawhi. There's like a lot of, but we wanted to get outside of like, basketball, football. So Kelly Slater, Alex Morgan, Katie Ledecky, Usain Bolt. I mean, the fastest man on the planet. So yeah, I mean, a lot of great athletes, and I think a lot more to go, hopefully. But for the first seven, I think we put together a pretty great ensemble.
Yeah, and I love the animation aspect of it. Oh God, is it ever cool? It just looks fabulous. But I want to ask you, Gotham, after meeting these athletes and probably many more that you've met over the years, how do you define greatness?
That's a great question. I mean, I think greatness is it's in a moment. Even with the best on the planet, you realize how fleeting it is. Tom Brady talks about not just like this one game. He talks about a single play in that game where he considers it the perfect pass. So I think there's a sort of humility in that. It's like even when you've been to nine Super Bowls, you've won six of them. You're considered the greatest of all time. There's a humility and yeah, but it's really one, and I'm constantly chasing after this. So I think, on the field, that's what greatness is. I'll also say, like LeBron James, somebody I've worked with, his greatness comes from not only taking that greatness on the court, but really applying it off the court. And, we're living in some pretty crazy, divisive times. And someone like him who's been able to take that platform, do what he's doing in his hometown in Akron, subsidizing schools, being bold, speaking to power and what's meaningful. I think that's greatness too.
Yeah, absolutely. You are so right. Well, thank you for these. You do not have to be a sports fan to love this series. It really is wonderful and so well done. And I'm looking forward to your next doc on Tom Brady. That's going to be one to really look for. So, congratulations to you, Gotham. You've done a wonderful job with these, and I look forward to more of them. Keep safe and stay healthy. And thank you for your time today.